Devils 16, the Huddersfield Giants 26. A great win for the Giants. Boy, did they need that after two heartbreaking games against St. Helens and the Wigan Warriors. Ian Watson will be delighted, of course. It was, of course, the Salford Red Devils that knocked Huddersfield out of the playoffs last year. So he owed them one, his old employers, and he got the better of them today. It started pretty poorly for Salford and never got better. That terrible mistake that you just saw a moment ago, where Ash Golding, of course, got gift-wrapped a present under the posts to get Huddersfield off and running. They then slotted over a two-pointer to make it 8-0, and at that point, they never looked back. They maintained their lead throughout the game. The returning Owen Trout caught a couple of good tries, didn't he? Superb stuff from Owen Trout. He'll be delighted with that back in the side for this one. And of course, from a Salford perspective, listening to the commentary on BBC Sport, also looking at the Twitter feeds and the Facebook feeds after the game, clearly penalties hurt them. I mean, their indiscipline today really cost them. Brodie Croft not really firing in this game. He hasn't really fired all season, and the left edge has been completely decimated. Tim Lafai, we know he's out, and today, Mr. Burgess also now with a rib injury. He's going to be out for Salford. So that left edge has really took a couple of bad knocks over the last couple of weeks, and of course, Salford next week will of course go up against Lee. And there's a few Salford fans who believe that Lee could do that, but we'll save that for Super League Raw later on in the week. In terms of Salford, they won't be too unduly concerned. Rowley's always the optimist, and I'm sure he'll be thinking that they can get themselves back on track against Lee. But Huddersfield, they desperately needed this, like I said a few moments ago. As yet, not really firing. Jake Connor back today, of course. Toy La Hoya on the bench. You'd have thought that. I mean, La Hoya last year was probably their best player, but yeah, he decided to go with Ollie Russell. We said in Super League Raw he had a really poor game last week, but he stuck with Russell, and he was very, very assured today with the boot for Huddersfield. Had a better game, and that was really good and encouraging that Ian Watson maintained him in the team. Of course, Will Price at full back, and when La Hoya had come on, don't get me wrong, he had some nice touches, but all in all, deciding to go with Connor, Russell and Price, with of course Nathan Peets in hooker. Next week it's Leeds against Huddersfield. Neither of these two sides, of course, have set the world on fire yet, have they? But that should be an interesting tussle when those two come to town. I mean, at this moment in time, both Salford and Huddersfield would have real high ambitions to be in and around the playoffs come the end of the season. It's fair to say, listening to the fans today, neither of these two teams at the moment are playing with enough quality to earn that title at the moment. The teams above them probably deserve it more at this stage, but it's a long way to go. It's only round 7. Let's not get excited. There's still lots to come, and I think once it settles down, I think certainly for Huddersfield's strength in depth will help them. As for Salford, if the injuries keep mounting, I do believe that's going to be quite telling and could put at jeopardy their chances of being in the top 6 come the end of the season. So all in all, not as exciting as we were hoping that it was going to be today. It was more, a little bit dogged by all accounts, a lot of lying on. Like I said, a penalty count sky high for both teams. A lot of criticism coming in for the referee, but good to see that some of the Salford fans pouring cold water on that, saying that, we always blame the ref when things go wrong. The players need to look at themselves for the discipline. And I go along with those comments. I think that's always the right and appropriate way of viewing any games. Over the course of a season, the decisions should even themselves out. So today it's about the Giants, a much needed win for Huddersfield. Ian Watson will be sleeping a bit sounder in his bed this evening, as both of these two teams will of course want to do better than even Huddersfield will want to do better next week in rivals round. So there we go. That's where we are. Salford 16, 26 points for Huddersfield, taking the 2 points, the much needed 2 points for the Huddersfield Giants. We'll see them both next week. So that's in the shed. You take care now.